Ayman Safadi, I'd like to get your response, first of all, to what we have heard. Mr. Foreign Minister, by the way, welcome, and thank you for joining us. You know, we've been discussing all eyes right now really being on Rafah. Jordan and Egypt have been quite clear that they will not accept any forcible transfer of Palestinians. Egypt appears to be building an enclosure on its border. The Foreign Minister of Egypt addressed this yesterday. Do you think that your stance can still hold strong on this, given the dire humanitarian situation in Gaza and the talk of a military operation extending there?
Well, I mean, we should not be responsible for cleaning Israel's mess. And before I address that, we got to frame things in the right perspective. What we see in Gaza is a devastating war, mass murder, destruction of the livelihood of 2 million people, pushing people to the abyss, destroying hospitals, killing journalists, killing medics, killing humanitarian workers. And we've got to frame things in the right context. The root cause of all of this is occupation that has had no horizons of ending, that's being consolidated day in, day out. Look at the number of settlements in terms of the growth that we've seen over the past few years. Look at the situation before October 7. What did we have before October 7? We had a complete closure of political horizons. We had a government that includes radical racist ministers who openly call for the killing of Palestinians. They call them human animals. They don't respect their rights. And we had a process in which this Israeli government tried to sell the fallacy that it can jump over the Palestinian issue to have regional peace and ignore the Palestinians as if they do not exist. Look at facts and figures. What did we see before October 7? Look at the number of settlements, confiscation of land, suffocation of the Palestinian economy, encroaches on the holy sites. And the political narrative that was coming out of that Israeli government is one that closed all horizons. Even before October 7, this current Israeli Prime Minister was on the record saying that his mission is to suffocate the Palestinian people's aspiration for statehood. October 7, we all condemned the killing of Israeli civilians on October 7. All the Arab countries did that. But I have yet to hear one.
Israel have responded
I have
to that?
yet hear one Israeli official condemning the killing of 30,000 people in Gaza. 75% of them are women and children. We're a country that made peace with Israel 30 years ago, but we made peace within the context of a broader peace that should allow for regional conditions that will ensure safety, security, dignity for all people, for Israelis and Palestinians. But Israel cannot have security unless Palestinians have security. We all cannot have peace unless the Palestinian people have their legitimate rights to statehood and freedom and dignity fulfilled. This seems to have been pushed under tons of layers of ignorance and acting as if Palestinians do not exist. So let's frame things right. We have a conflict. The root cause of conflict is an occupation that is a violation of every human right that exists. There was no horizons for this occupation to end. And now we're just looking at things as if the only problem is that there is something called Hamas. No, the only problem is that there is an occupation that has to end. We in the Arab world since 2002 have said that we're willing to have full normal ties with Israel in return for ending the occupation and the realization of a Palestinian state. Israel did not even consider that. And this is the question that we have. On the issue of displacement, it's an absolute no. We will not allow for the displacement of another thousands of Palestinians.
Is that also what your Egyptian counterparts are saying?
Yes, I think Jordan and Egypt have been
even despite the building of the enclosure?
About that displacement is not acceptable. It's a violation of international law. It's a war crime. But beyond that, it will solve nothing. It will just set the stage for further conflict. One last sentence. Whoever wants peace, we cannot just keep speaking in the macro. The path to peace is known, the two-state solution, the realization of a Palestinian state that can live in peace and security with Israel. Every other talk about political horizon or about peace is, I'm sorry, it's ignoring the issue and it's assuming that you can continue to control the life of 5 million people and deny them every human right and say, I want peace. How is that possible?